One of the most important concepts that most beginning players fail to grasp is the concept of proper bankroll management. You'll talk to a lot of players or hear about bad beats and about how unlucky a player was to go broke. The fact of the matter is, they were likely playing way outside their bankroll, and if they had practiced proper bankroll management, they wouldn't have gone broke. The fact of the matter is that no matter how well you play, there are going to be times where your hands won't hold up. No matter how far ahead you are, you're going to lose. That's the nature of poker. Poker has variance. Times when you should win, you don't. Times when you shouldn't, you will. By playing within your role, you'll ensure that you can absorb these losses without going broke in one hand. Let's take a look at the various formats of Texas Hold'em, as well as some charts on what the proper buy-in requirements are for each level. For ring games, you're going to want to be playing with around 20 to 40 buy-ins for the level that you're at. This graph here shows the required buy-in for each level, all the way up to the 50-cent, $1 tables. And you can see here that this is based on a full buy-in at each level. Now, when playing ring game, you'll always want to buy in for the table max, as this will allow you to take full advantage of the situations where you get all your chips in the middle. Single table sit and goes can be very swingy at times, so you want to be playing these with around 25 to 50 buy-ins. Some sites offer super turbo or speed variations of these where the buy-ins progress very rapidly, and so there's going to be a lot more variance. You're going to find that you're getting your stacks in on the bubble or near the bubble in marginal situations, and while you may be ahead, there's going to be a lot of times where you will lose even if you are ahead. So due to that, you're going to want to consider playing these styles with as few as 50 to 100 buy-ins, as there are going to be much wilder swings due to variance. The betting structure of Limit Hold'em is quite a bit different when compared to No Limit, and so the required bankroll is going to be quite a bit different as well. If you take a look at this graph here, you'll see that, for example, at the 1 cent, 2 cent table, you only need a bankroll of around $6. This translates to be around 300 big bets or around 600 big blinds. Multi-table tournaments have much wilder swings due to the relatively low chance that you're going to cash when compared to sit and goes. You're up against a much larger player base, and not many of them get paid, so there is going to be larger swings when you compare the two. It's due to this that it is recommended that you have at least 50 buy-ins, while 100 is definitely a better number, as it allows you to absorb those long streaks where you aren't going to see any money from playing. You may also want to consider adding a few more buy-ins to your bankroll if you're a more loose and aggressive player, as there tends to be a lot more variance in that style of play. Conversely, you may also want to consider increasing your padding if you're new to the game and you're really not sure what you're doing. As you're near the minimum requirement for the next level, it is okay to take a few shots at that level. For example, if we take a look at the ring game chart again, you'll see that to sit at 2 cent, 4 cent, for example, you'll want to have around $80. Once you hit the $80 mark, you can play a few buy-ins at that level. Now, as long as you stay at the $80 mark and you feel like you're not being overwhelmed, feel free to keep playing at that level. But if your roll starts to drop below that $80 mark, you've got to be prepared to drop back down to the $2 level. By dropping down, you'll still be playing within proper bankroll management. Now, not dropping down is one of the biggest mistakes players make, and it is a surefire way to blow your whole roll. The most important thing to remember when taking shots at the level is to be prepared to drop back down if things aren't going well. So to sum things up, here are the big reasons why bankroll management is so important. Number 1, losing a hand is inevitable. It's going to happen. No matter how well you play, no matter how bad your opponents are, you're going to lose hands. You're going to get into spots where you're well ahead of what they have, you're going to get the money in good, and they're going to catch their outs and beat you. By playing with a sufficient roll, it'll allow you to absorb those losses and just move on to the next hand. Number 2, playing with scared money. And I really think this is probably the most important concept of why bankroll management is so important. If you're playing at stakes that are well above your roll, it's going to put you in a situation where you're afraid to lose the money you're playing with. This is going to force you to play a lot tighter than you should be, and that'll cause problems for you because other players at the table are going to pick up on how tight you're playing, and they're going to be playing a lot more aggressively at you. They're going to be betting into you to get you to fold hands where you're probably ahead, and you should be gambling. And the big thing about poker is you need to be willing to take risks. Number 3. Having the proper amount of buy-ins will account for the natural swings in poker. Now, this kind of ties into number 1, but I wanted to take it a little bit further here. When you're playing, no matter what you do, you're going to encounter situations where you get it in good and you still lose. Now, over the long run, you're going to have times where you will see long patches of this. You know, losing 15, 20 sit-and-goes in a row, dropping 8, 9 buy-ins in a row at the cash games. It'll happen. And so if you're playing with the proper amount of buy-ins, it'll just pad you for when you do hit those downswings. Number 4, as I stated in the full ring section, you're always going to be wanting to play at the maximum buy-in when you're playing cash games. This allows you to capitalize on the situations where you get your money in good, and you really want to take advantage by having a full stack when you do. So as you can see, the reason that proper bankroll management is so important is it allows you to play comfortably without fear of losing a roll. Scared money is dead money, and you definitely don't want to be playing when you're afraid of losing your whole roll. As well, it allows you to absorb the natural ups and downs that come from playing poker. You're going to lose, it is inevitable. You just want to make sure that your roll is sufficient to absorb those losses and put them behind you so you can keep playing with a clear head. I thank you for watching the video. I really hope it helped. I'm going to be putting out more videos soon, so check back, and thanks for watching.